And then we literally, another question here, which we've got by our viewers.
That's been
Our viewers.
requested.
Was obviously, how did Optima start? Well, that was the main thing, wasn't it? It was like me and you, weren't we? We was working together at a company in town.
Yeah, and the clients actually asked us to go and make open somewhere of our own.
The big thing was, for me, what happened was I saw a kid come in. His dad brought him in. He was 4 years old, 4 or 5, little Asian kid. And his dad had spilt a kettle on his head when he was about 2 years old. And he had this scar tissue on the top of his head. And I said to my boss at the time, I said, is there anything we can do for free? And he called me under every name under the sun. He said, I'm too compassionate with these people. I need to concentrate on the sales. I'm no good for this industry. I should be thinking about, making the dad feel guilty about what he did, and then you concentrate the sales. It was all too, and I just thought, you know what, I'm not having this. I can't do this anymore. So I ended up, for reasons that happened, I just left. I remember ringing you and said, look, that's it, I've gone.
That's right. I do remember.
I remember you crying your eyes out and just went, no, because we were best friends then.
I know we were.
And literally then I remember then it was Grant. It was Grant that literally said to me, why don't you start up on your own?
Loads of my clients said the same, no.
But I actually thought, well, how do you do that?
Yeah.
And I remember going to Business Link and sitting down, and then literally I said, you need a business plan. I went, but how do you know how much you're going to sell in the first? I literally knew that. Well, you need a property. You need to. What? How do? I literally had no clue on how to do anything. And then suddenly, obviously, we started. Do you remember we started it from my old house over in Sutton?
Our old house.
That's it. I bought you out by then, so it's fine. And I literally then, we literally got to that stage where we just converted a bedroom.
Into a little studio.
Like about half a dozen clients. And we used to bend them over the bath.
Oh, that was
I got bent over your bath.
You did, didn't you? That's it. Yeah, you come over.
You seem so proud about that.
Yeah, you do. Yeah.
I was one of those people.
That's it. You're lucky to get bent over my bath.
Oh.
And then literally, do you remember? I think in the first week I went to the children's hospital.
Yes.
And actually said to them, right, because of that experience I'd had with that little kid, I said, I'll do 30 kids a year free of charge while they go through they go through their
I remember.
And then about 2 weeks later, I just remember it was a day that you weren't there, and my cleaner at the time, I had this cleaner in at the time, and I just had this bump thump on the door. I opened the door and there were 6 geezers stood there.
I know.
6 geezers, 6'4", 6 foot massive geezers. And they literally just pushed me in, actually just put the hand on the chest, because you remember these weird things about it. And they literally just pushed me in, straight into a sofa. And then these 2 samurai swords came out and they just came up against my throat. And this geezer just literally, just always remember it, because he just pulled this gun out. And it was weird, because obviously you've seen guns in films, you're shooting like this.
Yeah.
He literally pulled it out, but it was this way. So as he's just stood there, and I'm just like that, with these 2 massive great swords up against me throat, you just think, right, this is it, I'm dying. And they said, right, you're not going into competition against your ex-employers.
Yeah.
If you go into competition against your next ex-employers, we're going to do you, but we're going to do your family.
Yeah.
We're going to do your mum and dad. We know where your mum and dad live in Spain. We know where your brother lives in Devon. We know your brother's kids' names. We literally know we're going to throw acid in your brother's kids' faces. You are going to stop what you're doing and you're going to get out of town. Do you listen to me? And I just went, yes, okay, no problem. And I literally remember shaking that much. They left. I got their number plate like that, just writing it down. And I rang you, didn't I? And I said, I've just had loads of geezers come out.
Well, didn't I come and get you and take you to the police station?
We went to some police station.
Yeah.
And then we sat down with the police, and the guy walked out the room. Do you remember? He walked out the room. He come back in, because I gave him the number plate, and they 2 coppers sat me down. They said, listen, we know who these people are. They're very renowned gangsters from town. We're advising you to move back to London.
Yeah.
One of these guys is suspected of murder. we cannot protect you. We can't protect you for what you're going to do. And I just remember sitting there with you, and you were going, look, if this is too much, we can't do this, you can't do this. And I always remember sitting there and I said, I can't, I've made a promise to the Children's Hospital.
Yeah.
And they turned around and said, I'm sure they'll understand. And I just went, nah, actually, I said, look, where I come from, a promise is a promise and I don't break my word. And they said, no, you don't understand the severity of this. This is so dangerous. We cannot protect you. And I said, I can't give up. That's it. I can't. I've got nothing else. I have to keep going. So I think when we went back and stuff like that, I remember the doctor put me on beta blockers, diazepam, sleeping tablets. I had to move in with my mate. Do you remember I had to move in with Sharon? I was moving in with Sharon.
Yes, I do.
So I had to go and live with her because I was so scared, just locking up at night because we'd got that place in George Road, first of all. And then... and I remember literally just panicking and thinking, right, now I've got to get through this. I've got to get through this. I've got to get through this. And then we found that place in George Road.
We did.
And it was weird how we found that, wasn't it?
Yeah.
We went to view another place.
We did, and it was right opposite as we walked out the door.
As we walked out, you turned around and went, that's it.
That's it.
That's
and we
the
both
one.
went, yes, it is.
That's it.
That's
Exactly.
Optima.
I mean, it's mad, isn't it?
But I also remember on the back of that, us having that conversation after that, and I think I said to you, okay, we are going to dig our heels in more now than ever, and we're going to do this.
100%.
Basically, to them.
And I remember, the weird thing is as well, after obviously having all those death threats, the police said, look, the only thing we can do, we'll put a police car outside your house and we'll give you a panic alarm.
Yeah.
So I remember then literally just thinking, okay, and someone said to me, you need to go and see Barbara.
The psychic.
Yeah, the psychic woman. So someone said to me, you need to go and see Barbara. And she was at that place up in Bearwood.
Yeah.
So the next day after the death threats, I went to see Barbara and I sat down with this old woman and she did these cards on me. And as she sat there on these cards, she literally just went, right, bum, bum, bum. And she sat there and she, hold on. And she put all the cards down, she's moved them to one side and she's gone, you're in danger.
Yeah.
And I said nothing to her. And I said, okay, why? She went, you've had a death threat. And I went, yes, I did yesterday. She went, they ain't going to stop at this. They're going to keep going. You are a danger to their business. They're going to do everything they can to get you out the way. So they're going to, you're going to, your house is going to get attacked. You're going to get 3 phone calls. You've got these big, nasty people after you. You've got people who are going to try and set you up. You've got police who are going to come and arrest you. All of these things. She said, you need to write this down.
Yeah,
this
I remember
is exactly what's going to happen. And I remember I put my house on the market because the police said you need to get out of the area. So I was going to go into hiding and stuff like that, all by trying to keep the business going. And then once I literally did that, I remember my house got smashed up. Do you remember my car got smashed up?
Yeah.
All the hammers and bricks came through my windows. I had the phone calls where them guys said, I'm going to kill you. I'm going to kill your family. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. And then it was, I remember ringing Barbara. It was about 2 months in. So it had been about February, March time when we first started. And then I rang Barbara and I said, everything you've said's come true. Apart from 2 things. I said, one of them, you said I'd get arrested. She went, give it time. Within 1 week, 7 o'clock in the morning, I got 3 coppers turned up at my door. And they literally, my house was on the market at the time, and they literally turned up at my door. You've got to come with us to Steelhouse Police Station.
I remember that.
And
Didn't I come with you?
No, I've still got the tape, actually. The tape, I keep it in my garage. And it's the actual interview that I had. And the copper, it was really weird. The coppers couldn't look me in the face properly. It was almost like they're just looking at me a bit like they didn't feel comfortable knowing that I was sort of like doing what I was, whether they had me there for whatever reason. I remember then I came out and I had 4 messages on my phone from my estate agent. And they, said, can you ring us straight away? So I rang them and they said, it's really weird. They said exactly 12 o'clock. A guy rang, I said, we'd like to view this house. And then they literally said, sorry, but the vendor's the only one with the keys because of the threats I've had and stuff like that. And this guy started screaming and shouting down the phone saying, I need to get in that house. You need to let me see that house. And Barbara was saying they were trying to set you up on drug charges and everything. Anything they could do, they wanted to try and put me under. But the fact is that it's weirdly, as I was on beta blockers and, you know, the antidepressants and everything I had to go on for that time, that was the one thing that made me more fucking determined
Yeah,
than
I
ever
remember.
before to go, fuck you, I'm going to make this a success. So actually, weirdly enough, all the threats they gave me actually made me into the person I am today to
Yeah.
make sure that I could do it.
More
I used to have to get a
determined.
security company. Do you remember to help me
I
lock
do,
up
yeah.
and then
Yes, I do. Yeah.
make sure that I didn't drive? Every time I drove home, I had to drive three
Yeah.
different ways. This was all advised by the police and these people and what
Yeah,
they're
you
gonna
couldn't be
do.
left on your own.
For a good the first 12 to 18 months, I couldn't do
No.
anything. And I remember talking to you guys about it, and so many times it's like, and I remember you, Kaz, always saying, you can't let these bastards beat you. You
Yeah.
can't let these bastards beat you.
Never.
And it's weird that the one thing that literally tried to put us out of business actually made me more fucking
Yeah.
determined than ever, that I wanted to make sure that we could supply to these little kids and give them the hair that they wanted. And I do believe that was a divine intervention.
It was,
from
yeah,
something.
definitely.